Single leg hip extensions. They're good for you. Single leg hip extensions. They're a great way to work on pelvic stability and hip extension, getting the glute firing. And so they're a really good exercise to kind of have in your back pocket, no pun intended, to kind of work on some of the things we need to be working on, whether you're just a runner or you're a multi-sport folk. As for runners, the glute's the biggest muscle that we got, right? I mean, that's true for anybody, and if it's the biggest muscle you got, you might as well use it for running instead of trying to use just your hamstring to pull you forward. Ideally, we're landing under our hip and pushing ourselves forward. That means hip extension, and that means glute activation, right? And there are lots of runners that don't get their glutes to fire, and so consequently either end up overloading their hamstring or calf and getting an injury, or late in the race getting hamstring cramps, especially if you're running a marathon or an ultra or something like that. And that's also not good. For multi-sport folks, we're using those hamstrings on the bike, pulling that pedal up over and over and over and over again for however long the bike leg is. And then we get off and we come out of transition 2 and we start trying to run, and our body is trying to use that same motor pathway because that's what we've been doing for the last however long. And that's kind of why that first minute or two of the run can be a little wonky. That's why brick workouts are important. But being able to get that glute firing, so we're using our glute to run instead of the hamstring that's already fried and tired from the bike, is really important. Yes, we do use our glutes on the bike, but we really need to make sure that we're not overloading that hamstring coming off the bike. You will run faster and more efficient, and this is how we do it. Bent knee, I like to have the foot elevated so I can get full range of motion. All the way up, all the way down. Note, if you use a chair, you might wiggle. That's okay. You can always brace against the wall, or your bed, or if I weren't filming, the bricks. That way it doesn't move on you. It does make it more unstable and harder to do it correctly though, if you are using an unstable surface. You can also do this on a stability ball or basketball if you really need to add another layer of difficulty to it. But again, we're just trying to get that glute to fire. Right here. Trying to get it to fire as you squeeze up and squeeze down, keeping the pelvis stable and not letting this hip hike up or down. Whoop. Obviously, I was pushing the chair there a little bit, but. So we just want to squeeze up through that glute and control it back down through that whole range of motion. Make sure we're using our glutes. That hamstring's going to be engaged, keeping that knee stable. Keeping it at 90 degrees, hopefully, through that whole range of motion. But we want to make sure we're not essentially getting here and then arching our back. We want to engage the glute all the way up. So that core is engaged, and those lower abs are engaged, keeping pelvis stable through the whole range of motion. So those are single leg hip extensions, folks. It's a great exercise to work into the mix. Don't forget to hit a like and subscribe. Leave a note, leave a comment, send this to a friend, share the good word. If you have any comments or questions, please leave a note below or drop me a line. But I love hearing from you folks, and every little bit helps. So, till next time, train smart.